Welcome everyone. My name is Rashida Convey Miller. My pronouns are she and temptress. I'm super excited to be here with you today for our full moon in Capricorn. Little nightcap flow. I think that's a good way to put it. I want us to start off with coming onto the floor, letting your body sink into the music, and starting to slowly just bring your body into the space however it feels good. Maybe that's turns, maybe that's just being slowly connected. But I just want you to find a way to kind of get in your vibe and slowly bring your body into the space for this conversation right here. For the next 10 or 15 minutes, I want you to dedicate this time to pouring back into you and filling up your tank. Let those hands loosen up. Let those arms loosen up. And now let's begin. I want you to start to sway from side to side. You're going to take a couple steps and just let that hip really sink and then take it back to the other side. You can do this at your own pacing. You can follow me. Remember, it's totally up to you. Take those hands up to the sky. Let those hands move around the space. See how that impacts your movement. I want you to take a step out to the side now, from side to side, pressing into the ground, heel to toe, allowing yourself the opportunity to really drop down inch by inch into a deeper squat, letting those knees bend a little bit more as you kick up the heat in your body as you're moving. Breathe. Now, let's step out to the side and take it in a circle. So you want to really push into the hip as you're moving around one foot. So you're pressing into the ground, step, step, step. Now let's switch sides. Same motion. Step out to the side as you twist around on one foot. Get that good pivot. And if you want to switch again your directions, go ahead. Really let yourself sink into that. And walk it out. Breathe here. Now come on, get a little bit with me. If you're feeling the weight in your legs from all of the movement or in your back, I want you to even slow down even more. Breathe, walk it out. And I want you to just use this next minute or so, this next 90 seconds even, just to kind of let your body move freely. Get out of the choreography, get out of the steps so you can get out of your head and just dance. What does the music say to you? What is your body asking to do right now? How does it want to move? You can trust that that energy is going to lead you in the right direction. Breathe. Now I want you to find your way to bringing those hands straight up towards the ceiling. Feel that openness and that tingling all across the chest from all of the movement that we've just done. And as you start to pull those arms back behind you, letting the back arch, I want you to breathe and let those rib cages open up even more, and then pull back in like with a snap, and bring those hands back to your belly button. Then lift those arms up again, feeling the movement, feeling the heat surging through your body, and snap forward one more time. Last time. Reach all the way up. Feel that elongation in the rib cage, in the shoulder blades, in the back, and pull forward. Now I want you to take your right ear to your right shoulder and start to circle the neck and the torso together all the way around, treating your spine as the central axis of the body and allowing the other pieces of you to kind of play and melt around the spine. Even if this activity doesn't feel good standing, you can definitely do this seated and definitely do this with additional props to give you more comfort. But there's nothing like that, being able to let that neck fall all the way back and feeling that tension releasing from the neck. Let's switch sides. Breathing, letting the body hang again right around that central axis. I want you to think about there being a string on the top of your head and pulling straight up towards the ceiling, reaching as high as you can possibly take it. Reach and letting the rest of the body fall around that left ear to your left shoulder, reaching back and letting the neck hang. Bringing that right ear to the right shoulder and chin to chest. Breathe. We're going to slowly come back to bringing those arms into a full circle around the body. Slowly start to bring the arms up. Now this time, as you pull the arms down and back, I want you to arch your back and slowly bend your knees, pulling the weight of yourself forward and down, getting a really good stretch of those muscles in the back of the legs, letting those hands hang down or touch the floor, feeling that elongation and that stretch. If you're someone like me with a larger stomach, I always suggest stepping your feet out to a little bit further than hips width so you can really get the stretch and really feel more comfort and more access to your breath in this position. Bend those knees and slowly start to stack that vertebrae on top of each other one at a time, taking those arms all the way back up once again. Arching that back, you should go deeper into that pose this go round and coming all the way down. Breathe and stretching down. Inhale in and exhale, slowly stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other, and start to reach all the way up one more time. Reaching as far as you can. I want you to think about the things that you're reaching for this season. What were the things you were reaching for last year during the full moon in Capricorn? What were the things that were on your heart? What were the things that you were praying for? What were the things that you were hoping for? How have those things come to your life and come into fruition? Or how are you still working towards those goals? Let that stress kind of melt off the body as you use your spine as that central axis. Would you go ahead and take another couple deep breaths and slowly find your way down to the ground. We're going to start off with a couple deep breaths. And I really just want you to use this next section to really just hang out. Like there's not a lot that you need to do. I really want you all to think about this idea of bringing rest into your movement practice. It's not a matter of being lazy. It's not a matter of trying to do very little or having little effort, but it really is a matter of restoring the muscles, restoring the energy in the body, and allowing the muscles an opportunity to sink into the poses as opposed to us forcing ourselves down into them or rushing through them. So I really want you to allow yourself this really beautiful undulation back and forth, coming up from a seated position, coming all the way forward. Each time you come forward, reach up, pulling up with the spine, letting it lengthen, and then reaching all the way forward to lay on the mat. Let your hands lie forward. If you want to put a pillow there for yourself so you can rest on that, that's really good. But instead of pushing, just go right to the place where it feels most natural and just hang there. Breathe. And now I want you to sit forward. It's a really funky way that I've learned to kind of pull out of this pose. You're going to shift yourself forward by pulling over your knees and then allowing the legs to unfold. If you have access issues with this, no worries. Please go into this pose how you would normally do. Now, coming into our cat and cow, I want you to take those wrists and flip them inward, getting a really nice stretch along the inner part of the arm and pulling all the way down to the shoulder blades and the tailbone. When you're ready to release that, just turn those hands forward. And now we're going to go into what I call a half candy. And so if you're like, what's the whole candy? I want you to, stay along for a bit, and I will tell you over the next few weeks what a full candy is. So this half candy is pulling the weight of our bodies forward while we're stretching the chest along the floor or along the mat. And once we get there, we're bringing either the right or the left leg up to meet us. And then as we're pushing back, what we're trying to do is push back into the tailbone first, and then let the chest drag back just a bit and come up. Try this to your capacity. See where it feels good. If it does, great. If it doesn't, stop. Do something else. And if you are feeling good about this, I want you to try it a couple times. You'll see here that I am kind of, adjusting my pacing, guarding my knees a bit. So when I get tired, I'm going to allow my body to rest, and I can always build up again to it. In my next practice, I can add a couple of those half candies in there so that I'm not pushing myself too far or further than where my body is really ready to go right now for whatever reason. All right, take a couple deep breaths in again. And I always love to end out just coming back to that circular movement with the hips, with the torso. Wherever you're finding that relief, I want you to go ahead and just give yourself a few circles right in there. Make them as slow as you can stand it. Like, really let yourself just sink through those movements. And breathe. Thank you. I love to end on a little ratchet benediction, y'all, just to kind of zip ourselves up as we're leaving out and going back into our day-to-day lives from our practice. I love putting a little song at the end of my practice just to turn up just a bit, remind myself that I am the baddest and the coldest, and I deserve all of the pleasure and all of the joy that I can possibly stand, because pleasure is our fuel, not a reward.